It is 6 o'clock, everyone. Welcome to our January 12th meeting of the Plympton School Committee. I'd like to call us to order, having a quorum of the committee with us this evening. And just as a gentle reminder, we are being recorded in multiple ways. Thank you to Area 58 for being here. If any of you are recording, please let me know ahead of time. Seeing none, would any of the visitors to the committee like to speak to the committee this evening? All right. School committee correspondence. I did receive the annual report and audit from the Pilgrim Area Collaborative. I'll share it out with the rest of the committee. As usual, the findings from their auditor found no grave concerns, and the Pilgrim Area Collaborative continues to be the next layer of the onion to service some students that potentially we can't service within the confines of our own school district. They're an excellent partner. I'm very pleased to be part of that organization. Any other correspondence?
None.
Perfect. Consent agenda. If you have a hold on any of these items, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll read through it and we can vote it as a slate. The approval of the minutes of our December 15th, 2025 meeting, the approval of warrants and bills, and the approval of grants, donations, and awards.
I would like to talk to the budget. I just have a question or two on that, so I'd like to hold that, as well as the Medicare. They're all in the folder.
So you want to do that out of grants? You want to hold that aspect?
No, I want to understand the Medicare, Medicaid thing that was in the consent agenda folder, and I just had a question on one of the items in the financials.
Okay.
So however you want to do that.
No problem at all. I think we can then let the approval of the minutes and the warrants be voted as our consent agenda, and we can hold off on our approval of grants, donations, and awards as part of what you're talking about, because that's where a lot of that comes from.
Yep.
Sarah, would you agree with that assessment?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. All right. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda with the items John called out to be held separately?
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you comfortable with us speaking to that either during our business officer or superintendent's report? All right, perfect. So we're moving on to admin reports now. So, Mr. Veneto?
Great, thank you very much. Since coming back from winter break, on Thursday we had our Dennis Rocks meeting focusing on ownership. Starting today, we begin with our winter dibbles and star testing. On Thursday, we have a rep from HMH coming out for a coaching day with our teachers. I believe that's visit number 2 from the coaches coming out. On Monday the 19th, we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day with no school that day. And we're back here on February 9th for our next school committee meeting.
And I saw that we just publicized enrollment for kindergarten for next year.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. So we'll be definitely looking forward to hearing the trends you're starting to see with what our potential class sizes for K is next year.
We will keep you posted.
Thank you, Mr. Veneto. Appreciate it. Any questions for Mr. Veneto?
No changes to current enrollment?
No.
Still at 255?
Correct.
I thought one thing that might be just good, it doesn't need to be brought up here, but just for the minutes, I think it would be useful for the public to see sort of total enrollment and by grade. Just to, it's always, we used to do that a while back on your report. I think if we just drop it into the minutes, it would be a nice historical thing.
And I think it was part of our budget presentation, so we have pretty recent numbers that we could pull on very easily to get that into the minutes and maybe put up as a graphic at our meeting next month as well.
Yeah, I just think it's good to keep it in people's minds that these things change.
The
and
ebbs
there are
and flows.
differences by grades, and that all has an impact to all of the testing and also to budget.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions for Peter? All right, thank you very much, Peter. Appreciate it. On to the report of Sarah Hickey, our Director of Finance and Operations.
Thank you very much. Mr. Wilhelmsen, you had some questions for me?
Yeah, I was just trying to understand the first of all, what is the the letter about Medicaid and how does that work, because I hadn't seen that before, and I've been doing this for a few years, so that's new to me. And then the second one is on, is it out of district? We have a $30,000 efficiency or negative number, as it says, so maybe it isn't because there's stuff elsewhere, but I just wanted to.
So, I thought I had a whole page of things I thought you might ask about. I can answer questions you didn't ask if you'd like. The special ed tuitions, there was $154,000 budgeted, and we've spent $190,000 so far this year. I'm going to be meeting, and I apologize, I don't have an answer for you about this right now. I'm going to be meeting with the special ed department, and we're going to look under a microscope about the operating budget money, the circuit breaker money, and what's going on, why does the operating budget look the way it is, and does there need to be something moved from operating to circuit breaker?
Okay.
Or worst case scenario, we actually have an increase, and then we're going to apply for, what is that called? Extraordinary relief.
Mhm.
But I just don't have the answer for you for
You guys,
that.
you guys
right?
focus on it.
Yes, yep. So to be honest, with the Medicaid, one of the school committees asked me to put the reports in, and I couldn't remember which school committee it was. So when the Medicaid reports came in to me, they say, please share this with the town treasurer. And so I shared it with the town treasurer, and then I put a copy of each town's or each entity's into their school committee folder. So the Medicare report that you're talking about has a recoupment. So over the course of the year, there's different activities that are claimed and different expenditures that are claimed and then reimbursed. And the best I can tell you is that there was something something that I don't know goes on in the background that was disallowed at some point.
So I know that many school committees have had angst about Medicare dollars going directly back to towns for services that are done within the confines of the school. And it's kind of a circular argument, because who funds the school department?
Right.
The town itself. Now, at a regional school, which is a municipality unto itself, those Medicare dollars come directly back to the regional school in which those services are put out. It's usually special ed services under the direction of student services, right? So ironically, when a kid becomes 2.9 years old, all the way up to 21, some of the things that they will be covered on later in life under their health care is actually educational cost, right? And with the affordable health care losing some of the subsidies from the COVID era, there's concerns that the towns and the regional schools will actually see a diminishment in return of Medicare dollars starting January 1st of 2026. So we're already in this window of uncertainty of dollars that we had been getting reimbursed for the past 5 or 6 years may no longer be reimbursable. So I don't know if that was the impetus for why Sarah was asked for this report from another committee. I know this is an area of consternation and concern for towns and school committees across the state right now. It's just another layer of perspective.
So it's for students who qualify for like a free or reduced, with their income ratios, and anybody who's receiving what's considered a medical-based service, i.e. nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. There are different things within that, or certain tools that we use for special education, and we put forth these claims. One of the things Medicaid has done is they're tightening the reins and the rules on what they're allowing reimbursement for. They just changed some of the parameters around claiming for transportation and one-to-one nursing, things like that. So they are making it a little bit more difficult to claim. It's an incredible amount of work that happens from the special education department to be able to make the claims. It is quite a bit of work on behalf of the staff. So it's quite a bit for the ratio of what it is.
Yeah, unless you're deeply entrenched in how public schools work and how student services and special ed works, a lot of people have no idea that this goes on behind the scenes. But it's a major area of concern.
And it's the 4th largest revenue for the state of Massachusetts.
And so I would assume for Plympton that this money has been going, to the extent that there is money going back, it's been going to the town.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes,
So it ends up being more of a town issue.
of course.
If we're getting less, then the town is gonna see less coming in, and that will show up through the budget process with what's available for free cash and stuff like that.
Is there such thing as a triple-sided sword? It's worse than that, because it also affects some state agencies who get some reimbursement from the federal government based on how much individual towns and municipalities claim. So we're going to see a diminishing of the revenues at the State House and locally here in Plympton. Right.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions for Sarah?
Those were the two that were pressing.
All right, so we did pass over the approval of grants, donations, awards. Are you comfortable with us? Were there any grants, donation, or awards that need a vote tonight, Sarah?
Everything's.
I think we don't need a
everything
vote.
is of the usual,
Yeah, there's nothing new.
right?
Okay, so I'll accept the motion to accept Sarah's report as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any further questions? Okay, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. Sarah, anything else for us this evening?
I do not.
Awesome, thank you so much. All right, Dr. Clifford.
Okay, I have a few updates tonight on curriculum matters. The first one is the K through 12 steering committee, the ELA steering committee. This is the first year that this group has been meeting, and they've been meeting all fall. They last met on December 2nd, and during that meeting, they unpacked standards by reviewing data and discussing observations with the committee. Also, they received updates about progress toward the district's literacy plan and core program reviews. Both the elementary and middle school curriculum councils will conduct field tests of ELA core programs starting in January and proceeding until May. We'll present the findings in May to the school committee. So at this point, the curriculum review councils, K through 5 and 6 through 8, are both conducting core program reviews. Each will probably review 2 different curriculums. This work we're having a big meeting on January 14th with our consultant TNTP, and then after that, teachers will be receiving materials, and then conducting roughly a 4 to 6 week field test of one curriculum and then of another. And then the people that are implementing the curriculum will be meeting with myself, with the council, with our consultant, and also rating each one of the programs. And so our goal is by May to come with a recommendation on a new ELA curriculum starting in the fall of 26. And again, this is part of the PRISM grant that we received here in Plympton. The second piece is an update about the Math Curriculum Steering Committee. So we're in year 2 of that committee. And at this point, we're implementing HMH, K through 6 and K through 8, and illustrative math at the high school. And as Peter just mentioned, we have the second visit from our consultant coming on the 15th. And my hope is for a 3rd day this year. And then also we'll start planning for continued support next year, because I really firmly believe that the implementation is really important to help teachers implement the program with fidelity. And then in the fall, will be the first year of the Science, Technology, and Engineering Committee, which will start its first year of review. And I've also included here in my update just the MCAS dates for grades 3 through 8 and also for grade 10, which I know Peter will be putting in his newsletter to parents just to let them know when those windows are for MCAS. That's it.
Any questions for Dr. Clifford? Thank you very much. All right, Superintendent Prue.
So I'd like to begin by introducing everyone to our new Director of Operations and Finance, Stephanie Hatton. Stephanie's joining us, and Sarah will be retiring in February, and so they're working together to provide us with a transition that will hopefully be supportive. Sarah will be joining us for our meeting in February, so we'll be seeing both of them for a little while. So I just wanted to introduce everyone at this meeting tonight.
Welcome aboard. It's good to have you.
I appreciate it.
And thanks for being here this evening so we could
course.
meet you face to face.
Of course.
Looking forward to working with you.
In your packet, you'll see that there's a draft calendar for your review. Some of the things that I'd like to point out is that September 1st and November 3rd, those are in-service days for our teachers, and we have scheduled them on the election days. Some of our schools house elections, so it makes sense for us to maneuver our in-service days to coincide with the elections in that way. The first day for students would be September 2nd, and the last day would be scheduled for June 17th with 5 emergency weather days or snow days, which would potentially bring us to the 25th. You'll notice on the back that we've provided as much up-to-date information as possible with regards to contact. Those will be updated. And also, we've provided a number of dates for events at each of our elementary schools, middle, and high school. We do try and we encourage our schools to put all of their events on the district calendar, which is accessible on the website. Although, please keep in mind that sometimes we have so many events, it's next to impossible to avoid some conflicts, particularly at the secondary level where they have so many activities going on. But for big events, we try to make sure that parents can go to multiple parent nights if they have children in multiple schools within our districts. So tonight, I was hoping for your review and possible vote of approval for the calendar.
Any questions or concerns about the calendar as presented? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the calendar as presented.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It's unanimous.
Thank you. In terms of the budget, there are no updates since our last presentation. We anticipate the governor's budget at the end of January, and we anticipate updates for you in February with regards to any possible changes to what we presented in December.
Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
Jason, thought maybe it makes sense for us to reach out to Liz and make sure that she has sort of the preliminary
I have.
numbers. Okay.
I have.
Because I think we need guidance from
Mhm.
her and FinCom about any potential capacity to make additions or changes to what is the base budget.
Yeah, I've reached out to Liz, to Dana, and to Marilyn. So I'm covering all our bases with town leadership to let them know where we are, let them know where Silver Lake is, and to seek that exact guidance. As of right now, I would like us to proceed with an understanding of 2.5% is probably tolerable, but we don't know if we need to adjust up or down based on where the town's coming in.
Yeah, I would be surprised if we have to adjust down. I think it's a very reasonable number. I think the question is where is there any potential room to deal with any capital? We know we have a phone system that we have to do.
Mhm.
But then there's some other capital items as well as, which we'll get to in the admin review, there's potentially some positions that will have some impact to the shared cost budget, and then we also have whether we're able to add back in positions here. And so we're gonna need their guidance to
Right.
help us walk through
Yep.
that. And,
So I have 2 distinct reach outs to all 3 of those people and just waiting for a time where we can put our heads together and have a conversation and set up meetings in a public setting.
Perfect,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for our superintendent this evening? All right, thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to subcommittee reports, admin review.
We met last week to talk through a number of different items, existing contracts for the technology director, benefits and HR specialist, nurse leader, director of facilities, director of nutrition services, and those will all be coming to a late February joint meeting for Union 31 at Silver Lake. Nothing particularly extraordinary in those, pretty straightforward, 2% increases and so on and so forth. We did spend a decent amount of time talking about 4 business office positions, one which is more focused around grants and things like that, which is to me sort of in one bucket, and then the other 3 are more direct around accountant as well as other business office staff necessary to make things more efficient and be able to make sure we get things done. I think the advice that the committee gave to the administration was to come to the meetings in February with sort of maybe your best case wish list, and then perhaps some other mix and match of which positions could go through, but with costs associated with that, because I think that's really all it's going to come down to. I think the committees generally understand there's a need to support the business office, but it's a budget thing.
Yeah. So, being someone who serves on both committees, I'm at the point that I would be willing, if constrained by budgetary realities of the communities, of cutting something I already have to put something in place in that office. So it's going to be very important, like you said, to see where the town is. But we might have to have some difficult conversations. We might not all agree on that as individual members, but it's something that I'm ready to argue for pretty deeply at this point.
And on the position sort of focused on grant administration, I did ask the administration to try and focus on that to the extent that they can make a case that it could support itself, or at least partially support itself with other opportunities that may be available, since you have someone focused not only on the administration, which is its own huge task as I understand it, but also on being able to help others on the admin team go for grants, because there's additional support there to help you do it. Because our great example here, of course, is the grant we're using for ELA with the PRISM. That is a huge win, and a few more of those, and it's good. It's good for the schools as well as for the whole district. So I think it will be a good meeting in later February to talk it through. But I think the administration came forward with some good recommendations, and it now comes down to what each of the committees can afford.
Okay, thank you. Policy, there's been no meeting. Negotiations.
Nothing.
And as you just brought up, John, Union 31 will be meeting at the end of February for the
22nd or somewhere around
yeah,
there.
for the shared cost contracts and budget that becomes part of the Plympton School Committee budget as well. All right, Pilgrim Area Collaborative. We do not have a sitting member from this committee on that at this time, but again, I'll be sharing with you their annual report and their auditor's report from this year for you. Capital improvement. So I've named Brian to be the chair of our capital improvement subcommittee. John and Ross will be on it with him. Peter, don't be surprised if Brian reaches out to try and set up some meetings with you between now and our February 9th meeting, so we can put together a more prioritized and detailed list of capital projects that then we can share with the town and see if we're going to be looking for any articles at town meeting to fund any of the items that we have here at the town.
Well, we will be for the phones, because
Granted.
that's
Granted.
we know that. So
Yep.
yeah.
Currently, the phones are part of the operating budget.
Yeah, we're gonna want an article for it, I think.
Okay.
I think that will be the town's preference, so it's good to know, because then that actually takes the operating budget probably down to about 2.5%. So,
That's right.
As is, which is great. But yeah, I think the town will prefer to put that as a warrant article,
Right.
either in the special or the regular.
Yep.
Typically how we do it with anything like that.
So legislative agent report. Jill already gave it. We're just waiting on the governor's budget, so we have some idea of where Chapter 70 is going to be, where circuit breaker is going to be, where local aid's going to be. But don't hold your breath. All right. Regionalization.
We have a meeting next week, I think. Or next week or the week after. I know it's on the calendar in January. It will be the first meeting that we've actually had since hiring the consultant, and we had one that was we had one late last year that ended up getting canceled because of misstep in the posting, but the consultant wasn't quite ready up to speed yet anyway, so we, I am right.
I have it the 21st.
21st.
Yep.
So we'll have an update at our February meeting for that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other business? All right, seeing none. No school on Monday, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Our next meeting is February 9th, where we'll lean a little bit more into the budget, but we still will not vote the budget yet. I don't advise us doing that right after the governor's numbers come out and before we have our shared cost budget. But we'll get a little bit more nuanced in the budget talk on the 9th.
And it is our actual budget hearing.
It is. So, that being said, thank you all for being here this evening with us, and I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So
Well, I'll give it to you. Anybody want to second it?
I'll second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time tonight.
Thank you.